Hi, I'm Glenn, and once again, you've stumbled upon Brainstorm Rodeo. We're downtown Baltimore talking about the Emerson Drug Company. Why? Because they actually created a landmark in Baltimore that still stands today. In the turn of the century, they created a drug medicine to relieve headaches. And to be unique from all the other competitors, they decided to make their product in a blue cobalt bottle. So with those bottles and the success of their company, they decided to build a headquarters downtown in Baltimore. When the building was first built, it was highlighted by the 15-story, four-face clock tower that was one of the tallest buildings in Baltimore. It was modeled after the Plaza Vecchio in Florence, Italy. All that remains now is the clock tower that is now an art building. And at the very top, there used to be actually a large BromoSeltzer bottle with lights on it that you could see from miles and miles away. What we're going to do today is work on an assemblage project that kind of epitomizes and uses the things about the company and the tower. So the one landmark I thought about was the BromoSeltzer tower. It's a clock tower that's in Baltimore. Here's a postcard that I found modeling the tower that was built in 1911, and I wanted to find some things that would go with it. So putting some cool things together, some findings I had, I actually found one of the original cobalt blue bottles that BromoSeltzer was famous for. I thought, well, maybe if I had a dosage cup, that might help make things interesting. And then I started looking around. I found some things on the internet, like an actual old BromoSeltzer ad. You can see this one actually opens up. I think they used to give you pins with some advertising, so we'll try and incorporate that. I thought, well, maybe we need a spoon. And even I had actually laying around a 1948 almanac from a drugstore. And if you flip through here, you find some interesting ads. And it just happens that the back page, in a little bit of color, is a BromoSeltzer ad. So we'll be using that as well. Finally, I pulled in a couple other things. Since the BromoSeltzer tower is a clock tower in Baltimore, I thought maybe for some interest, we could add some clock parts and watch parts that I happen to have laying around. So let's get together and work on this, see what happens. The first thing I'm going to do is I took the box and I took some of this molding paste. And if you look here, you can see, like on the lid, it's actually engraved some. So when we do the sides, we want to get rid of that engraving. So I just put some over top of the words that are on the side and the top. It actually came with hinges, and the hinges were kind of stapled on the top. So we'll let this dry, and then we'll sand it smooth, so you won't be able to tell on the outside of the box. So let's do some more work and see where we get to. Now that I have my background cut out, it's the first layer of what I want to put relief off this. One of the main things that's recognizable about the BromoSeltzer tower is the clock face. It actually says BromoSeltzer outside the ring, and the numbers are on the inside of the ring. Where the numbers are, the Roman numerals, that's actually glass, and you can see through that. You can actually tour inside of the tower and look at the mechanisms work. This picture here was taken just a few years ago when they were replacing the whole clock mechanism. They took the hands off while they were doing the work. So for a while I had no hands on the clock. So I'm just going to take this, cut it out, and we'll work on putting it on top of the background. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Right, that takes away a lot from the back, but what we're going to do is we're going to get a layer of foam core put behind it, probably about this thickness, and it'll be raised off the back like this. So what I want to do also is I want to put in front of the clock tower, I want to put the actual postcard that I received. And what I want to do is I want to cut out the actual building. We're going to start assembling this. I got my background, got my clock face. I'm going to put that on first. Again, remember I assembled it here with some spray adhesive. So use some tacky glue to start putting these together. Okay, we're back to the box here, and what I did is I put a second coat of Mod Podge over this. It definitely has a couple wrinkles because of how thin this textbook paper was. The top turned out okay. That was the one I did the second coat right away. Looking at the directions, it said let the first coat dry before you put it on. And this part where I had cardstock, that really stuck really well and didn't wrinkle at all. The other thing we can do right now is put in the BromoSeltzer advertising. What I did is I glued some wedges on here so I can get the right angle. So now we can start working on the bottom here. I'm just going to glue in the little spacer for the bottle that has 1911 on there that we did earlier.